The day began like any other at the Naval Special Warfare Command. The air was crisp, the smell of salt and gun oil mixed as SEAL teams prepared for a morning briefing. The newly appointed admiral, a man with decades of service and a reputation for being both sharp and intimidating, was visiting the base for the first time in months. Everyone straightened their uniforms and stood at attention when he entered. Among the rows of elite warriors stood Chief Petty Officer Marcus Hill, a quiet but respected member of the SEALs. Marcus had served for nearly 2 decades, through combat tours, covert missions, and long deployments away from his family. He was known for his discipline, loyalty, and calm under fire. But few people outside his immediate team knew much about his personal life. What many didn't realize was that Marcus was also a devoted father, raising 2 kids while balancing one of the toughest jobs in the world. The admiral, known for breaking the ice with jokes, began walking down the line of SEALs. He'd ask random questions to lighten the mood, sometimes about training, sometimes about their experiences. When he reached Marcus, he smirked and asked casually, "What's your call sign, son?" The question hung in the air. Some of the younger SEALs glanced at each other. It was meant as a joke. The admiral didn't expect an answer that would mean much. Call signs often carried stories, earned through sweat, pain, and sometimes humor. Marcus straightened his back, his voice calm but firm. "They call me Iron Ghost, sir." The room fell silent. The admiral raised an eyebrow. "Iron Ghost. That's quite a name. Care to explain how you got it?" Marcus hesitated for a second, not because he was afraid to speak, but because the story behind that call sign wasn't one of bravado or glory. It was about survival, sacrifice, and the weight of responsibility that came with wearing the trident. The story behind Iron Ghost. Years ago, during a classified operation in the mountains of Afghanistan, Marcus and his team were ambushed by insurgents. The mission was supposed to be routine, gather intel and extract quietly. But things went wrong. Their comms were jammed, and one of the helicopters was shot down. Marcus's team was pinned under heavy fire. With no air support and ammunition running low, Marcus took command after his squad leader was hit. Using terrain and sheer instinct, he maneuvered his men through enemy lines under cover of darkness. He carried one of his wounded teammates on his back for miles, never stopping, never slowing down. By dawn, only 4 men had made it to the extraction point, all alive, all because Marcus refused to give up. When the rescue chopper finally arrived, his teammates described what they saw in the night: Marcus moving silently through the smoke and chaos, carrying a man twice his weight, bullets flying past him, almost like a ghost that couldn't be touched. From that day, they started calling him Iron Ghost, because he was unbreakable, unstoppable, and invisible when he needed to be. The admiral's reaction. The room was quiet as Marcus finished his story. The admiral, once smiling, now stood still, his eyes heavy with respect. "That's one hell of a call sign," he said softly. Marcus simply nodded. "Just doing my job, sir." The admiral took a step closer, his voice lower now. "No, Chief. That's more than a job. That's what defines leadership." From that day, the admiral often referred to Marcus as one of the most disciplined SEALs he'd ever met. What started as a light-hearted joke turned into a lesson in humility, a reminder that behind every uniform, every call sign, there's a story of courage, pain, and sacrifice. The legacy at home. Back home, Marcus's 2 children didn't fully understand what their father did for a living. To them, he was just Dad, the man who taught them how to ride bikes, helped with homework, and tucked them in at night. He never spoke about his missions or the dangers he faced. One evening, after a long deployment, Marcus was invited to a ceremony at the base. The admiral himself presented him with a commendation for valor. His wife and kids sat in the front row. When his call sign was announced, Chief Petty Officer Marcus Hill, aka Iron Ghost, his young son whispered, "Dad, that's the coolest name ever." Marcus smiled and replied softly, "Names don't make you strong, son. What you do for others does." That moment, captured in photographs and hearts, became part of the SEAL's quiet legacy, the idea that true strength lies not in fame, but in honor. Reflection. Years later, when Marcus retired, the same admiral, now older and grayer, attended his retirement ceremony. During his speech, he recalled that first meeting. "I once asked this man his call sign as a joke," the admiral said, looking at Marcus with pride. "But he taught me something that day: never underestimate quiet strength. Behind the calmest men often lie the greatest stories of courage." Marcus simply smiled, shook his hand, and said, "We all carry our ghosts, sir. Mine just taught me how to fight." Closing thoughts. Iron Ghost became a symbol, not just of one man's bravery, but of the silent resilience of every soldier who serves with humility. It reminded everyone that sometimes, heroes don't announce themselves. They move in the shadows, carrying others to safety, fighting battles the world will never hear about. And for Marcus Hill, the Iron Ghost, that was enough.